What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are going to talk about the crypto markets today. We're going to look at the Bitcoin chart. I know I went over that already. We're going to talk about some long-term stuff. A lot of people, not just on my comments, but a lot of people on X.com and just other places, they think we're about to break significant market structure, and we're going to prove that wrong. Okay, why the bull market is still alive. I suppose that's the point of this video. So if you like that, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. If you don't like it, it's probably because it goes against your narrative. Let's talk about it though, okay? On a monthly aspect. Looking at Bitcoin here. First and foremost, okay, diagonal lines are nonsense. They don't make any sense at all. You can draw them as tight as you want, as non-tight as you want, but if diagonal lines mattered at all, what market structure are we breaking, right? It's nothing. It's nothing, right? What, the parabolic trend that some people are talking about? Yeah, okay. Maybe we're breaking out of that, or maybe on a linear scale, maybe we're still well within it. We could drop all the way down to 72K and still be well within a parabolic formation. Literally, what do you mean? We could drop down to 69K and we're still well within this parabolic formation. Parabolic formations are not the easiest to gauge sometimes, right? You need at least like 3 or 4 touch points, really. And all we have really is like 2. We don't really, maybe 3 as of now, maybe. But what structure are we breaking? We look at this on a log basis. Again, coming back out here because that's what I want to see. What? Because Bitcoin has, since this high, it's been sideways now. It hasn't moved up to a new high in 4 months. Well, we did 7 months of that here. Back in this cycle, it took us 17 months or 16 months before we saw a new high relative to this. And we still finished that cycle 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months green, or the 7th month was red, but we went up for 7 months, essentially 6.5 months. If we did that here from the low, let's even put it at lower lows. Let's say we go below 70K at 69K right there. If we did that here, that'd put us in September of this year up at 433K. Even if we went down to 69K, that's what that would do. What market structure is broken? I don't understand how people are saying that market structure is broken, right? Whenever we were in this parabolic phase here, did we have a time frame where we stopped for 4 months? No, not really. I mean, here, sure, before the halving, but after the halving, no, that didn't happen. This is definitely unique, but no market structure's been broken. What market structure? We're still above our prior highs. Anybody who's saying market structure has been broken, they are looking at diagonal lines. They're looking at some kind of diagonal line which doesn't make any sense, right? Maybe it's this one. Maybe this line is the one that they're talking about. But why are you drawing it from here? Why aren't we drawing it from here? Why aren't we, taking this diagonal line, which comes in line with that monthly open right there? I don't know, because it doesn't make sense with your narrative. Well, I don't blame you, right? It's hard to disagree with things, or hard to agree with things that go against your narrative, right? Why not talk about the sideways or the horizontal lines where we had prior cycle resistance here, current cycle resistance here for a very long time, right there at 71K? Why don't we talk about how on a very significant basis, whenever we take this out of log, if we take a low to a high on our fib scale, that's exactly where our golden ratio is. What market structure have we broken out of? There's no, I don't understand. I really don't understand. If we're looking at indicators, right, we go to our indicators, we look at the pie chart, the pie cycle high, right? We're nowhere near where we would see the pi cycle top come in, right? The pi cycle top, by the way, whenever it happens, it's whenever the red line crosses above the green line. We're nowhere near that right now. Structurally speaking, whenever it comes to the pi cycle top being in, if we go back in time and we just look, keep on going all the way back here, the red line has to cross above the green line. That's what it is, right? Red line right here, pi cycle top. That was April 2021, right? We keep going back. We go all the way back in time right here. Pi cycle top right in December 2017. It called it perfectly right when the red line got above the green line. That's what happened. We keep going back all the way back in time to the next cycle. You guessed it. Yes. Pi cycle top right at the high. Pi cycle top even near a mid-cycle high, right? And even then we still weren't done. We still had more to grow. What structure have we broken? What is everybody freaking out about? I don't understand. I don't understand at all. And maybe there's a bunch of different things, or maybe there's certain things that I haven't talked about that have been addressed across the board that people, maybe that's what's happening, but I don't think so, man. If we look at the ribbons, right, the ribbons on a monthly basis, if it would load. I got the internet fixed, I swear, so I don't know why. Oh, there we go. We go on a log scale. Have we broken market structure? I don't think so. Oh, what? Because we're up, we're well above the ribbon, and now we're coming down. Well, it's not like that hasn't happened before in prior cycles. Hell, last cycle we even went below the ribbon in a bull cycle. And that wasn't enough to break market structure. We're well above it. What structure are we breaking? Our weekly ribbon is even bullishly primed, right? And it's very common in a bull cycle to find support in or just below the ribbon itself, of which we're probably going to do. What structure is breaking? I want to know. All the moving averages, all the oh wait, yeah, and that's another one actually. Now that I've thought about it, is this what it is? Is this what people are freaking out about? Let's look it up. Hold on. BTC USD. We're going to throw on some indicators here. Hold on. Nope, that's not that's not the indicators. Moving average, simple, right? One there. I used to have another one. I don't know why it got deleted, but we'll put 2 there. Okay. 50. Yep, you guessed it. 50, and yes, you guessed it. 200. 200. And we'll even make this one a different color, right? We'll make this one orange. What, the death cross? Is that what you're talking about? If we go lower to the areas that I'm talking about, we go down to 74K, 71K, 72K, somewhere in that zone, 69K. Well, we've already established that doesn't break out of our parabolic structure. We've already established that doesn't break out of any kind of insignificant diagonal lines, right? If it breaks out of any diagonal lines, it's non-significant diagonal lines. We've already figured out that from a structural standpoint, it makes a lot of sense to find support here because it's prior areas of resistance from the current cycle and the last cycle. Makes a lot of sense on different fronts. It's the golden ratio of this relative low to relative high right here. Okay, but what? This is what you're leaning on? The death cross happening? Let's go back and analyze the death crosses throughout Bitcoin's history real quick. Let's do that. Let's do that real quick and just see how terrible these death crosses are on a general basis. Okay, I'm gonna keep I'm gonna keep a tally, and the tally is gonna be this: big deal or not big deal? Yes or no? Is it a big deal or was it not a big deal? I'm just gonna write a Y for yes and an N for no, and we'll keep a tally to see how big of a deal these death crosses were. Okay, go back in time. Okay, so the very first one happened. Well, this was right here, right here. Was that a big deal? Sure. I would say that was. Yes, that was a big deal. That was in the bear market too, though, not in the bull market. Yes, we got 1 for the yeses. There we go. Okay. Next death cross that we had. Okay, right here. This death cross happened right at the low, actually, and we started to go up. Was that a big deal? No, it wasn't really. That was not a big deal. So the no's have it. Did we continue going lower afterwards? Sure, but if the death cross happened right at the low and it was April 2014, and we literally pumped until June 2014, we pumped for months after that, I don't think it was that big of a deal, right? Just saying, right? Just in that kind of aspect alone. Here we had a death cross right here. Was that a big deal? No, it was not. That was not a big deal. So that's 2 no's to 1 yes. Let's see. Let's keep going on here. Here's a death cross right here, and we were at the low right here. Was that a big deal? No, that was not actually a big deal at all. In fact, we moved up afterwards. Let's see. Here's a golden cross. Whatever. Death cross here. Was this a big deal? Yes. That seems to be a big deal. We started to move down. Yeah, that one was a big deal. There you go. The yeses have it. Here's a death cross right here. Was that a big deal? This was during COVID. That death cross there, we already bottomed out. No, nope. It was not a big deal, actually. Death cross here, was this a big deal? No. Nope. That was not a big deal in the least. Here's another death cross. Were we done with our bear cycle? Absolutely not. But was it a big deal? We dropped a little bit afterwards. We're going to give it to you. Sure. Let's give it to you on the yes side. Okay. Here's a bear cross or a death cross that we had earlier this cycle. Was that a big deal? Absolutely not. And oh, there's the last one that we had right there. Was that a big deal? I mean, we didn't pump, but we moved sideways. We didn't have any lower lows or lower highs. I guess we technically did have a lower high, but no, I wouldn't say we actually pumped into it and afterwards. So no. Here's our next one. We haven't had it yet. We don't have to have it. It's very possible that we don't get a death cross. It's very possible. But if we even do get a death cross, what's more possible is that we've had 3 yeses, 3 big deals of a death cross to 7 no's throughout Bitcoin's whole life, bear cycles and bull cycles. And I would bet, I didn't even pay attention, but I would bet the ones that say no, I bet they all happen in bull cycles. The ones that say yes, they're probably all bear cycles, right? I'm going to take a wild guess there. My thoughts are, if you're talking about any market structure breaking, I don't know what else it would be. What other structure are we breaking, right? Is there anything else that I'm missing? If there is, there's probably a bunch of different things that I haven't looked at to be completely fair, but I don't think so, right? We haven't broken out of sorry. Our logarithmic regression, our rainbow chart, the power law of Bitcoin, we haven't broken out of that. All these very significant time frames still prevail. And we're finding higher lows and higher highs, and we're having a more magnificent time this cycle than we did last cycle. Yes, this cycle already is better than last cycle was. Already it is. Why? We did not have a 17-month period where we moved sideways and we didn't see higher highs. We didn't have, or maybe it was a 16-month period, a year and a half, or a year and a quarter, whatever that was there. I'm just making this video, I guess, and I think I'm done with it at this point. But what market structure is being broken? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I'm going to take a wild guess. I'm going to take a wild guess that anybody who's saying that the market structure for Bitcoin is broken, they're either foolishly bearish or more likely they're in their first bull cycle. Now, there are some big accounts that are talking about breaking market structure and talking about key negative things and dynamics that are coming across, but not everybody's right. Even the pros, even the big boys with the big accounts, big girls with the big accounts, they're not right all the time, and they've been wrong plenty of times. They'll be right plenty of times, right? Nobody's God. Nobody knows the future. But whenever I see this narrative going around and people are talking about market structure breaking, what structure? I want to know. I want to know, because everything that we went over was very considerably significant macro structure stuff. And none of it seems to matter at all. None of it seems to be affected negatively. None of it seems to say that we're in a bear market yet. There's no indicators flashing that we're in a bear market. There's nothing that of the sort. We are well within a bull market, you guys. And even if we drop down to 69K, we're still well within bullish structure and formations throughout this cycle. Okay, stop it. Stop it. Just stop it. You're making a fool out of yourself, and you're going to crap the bed literally at the lows for no reason. We're going to 170K. Like it or not, May, June, that time frame, we'll see you at 170K, with or without market structure breaking or holding up. We'll see you there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Bye-bye.